leading you in any direction. Just what was your initial response to that mess by the Packers week one? Just you're the game's over and you're thinking what?
They weren't ready. They weren't ready collectively as a team and individually. When you look at the way Aaron Rodgers performed, he wasn't ready. I saw a quarterback and a team that felt like they were just going to beat the New Orleans Saints because of them not being the Saints with Drew Brees, and they have Jameis Winston. And I could just hear even now in the locker room, in the meeting rooms, the coaching staff saying, if we get pressure on this guy, he's going to give us opportunities. He's going to give us the ball. And the offensively, knowing, okay, or you going into the game thinking you're going to get more opportunities because of turnovers, because of takeaways that your defense gives you. But that didn't happen, and they had to fight. They were in a dog fight from the jump, and they were not prepared for that type of fight.
Yeah. By the way, have you personally, as a Packer, or maybe not, had a game when you knew within a series or two, we're not ready to play?
Yeah, but it was in a different type of situation. I remember, we were 13-2 at the time, and we were going to the playoffs. We had a bye, and we went down to Chicago last week of the season, and Mike McCarthy really wanted to win that game to set a franchise record in wins. And we got out there, and everybody played, and they just punched us in the mouth. We didn't want to be there. Again, different circumstances, but everybody, and this is where you get in trouble as players, but you have to be mindful of it because it is real when you start saying it's just one game, because those performances, regardless of how great you carry them or how much height you put into them or how much you try to downplay them, they trickle over moving forward. I don't care what you try to do, you better correct and take away the good and the bad from both opportunities.
So tonight, Daniel Jones plays, and I this is my takeaway on being an NFL quarterback. Your first year, I'm not going to judge you. I mean, you're over your skis. The game's real fast. You may not have the perfect elements. There's probably a reason a great college quarterback is starting. Your team stinks. Year two, I want to see development and growth. So Daniel Jones has 27 starts. He's not accurate. He turns it over. He doesn't win. I don't see a ton of it. By Thanksgiving, he's going to have 36 starts. That's over 2 full years. So, and I think the world's changed. These kids now are more ready to play once they get to the NFL, so I'm a little harder now than I was 5-10 years ago. So Daniel Jones, what will you see? Because he has struggled so far. Greg, what will you see with Daniel Jones over the next 5 or 6 weeks where you will go, I don't think this is going to work? Will there be something you see that you're just like, you can wait 2 years, it's not going to work?
Well, I think he's continues to show us, if I'm being honest, Colin, like you can't, number one, at the quarterback position, if you have the football in your hand, in your possession, every single offensive snap, you have to protect the football. We get it. You're going to throw interceptions. You're going to miss throws. You're going to have balls get tipped and, interceptions happen. But when you're putting the ball on the ground, you're not even giving us a chance. And that is where I feel like this is something that it's either in his head or it's just who he is, and he's not going to come out of it. When you've led the league in fumbles as a quarterback, and we can all say, well, it's the offensive line and he's getting hit when he's not expecting to get hit. Well, running backs carry the ball every single time they touch the ball, and the expectation is for them to not fumble, period. I don't care how good or how poor you are. And so the expectation when you have the ball in your hand is to protect it. And he hasn't shown that he can do that. Forget everything else. He can't protect the football, so he can't be somebody you rely on to win games.
Yeah, no, it's bad. The fumble thing is a mess. So take me into being a pro athlete. DeMarcus Lawrence can't play for the Cowboys this week, and we know it's not a great defense. So take me into the psychology of a player, because I said earlier, it doesn't matter. I just watched Patrick Mahomes win without Frank Clark or Honey Badger. I've seen Aaron Rodgers go 6-0 without Devontae Adams. Brady didn't have O.J. Howard. He didn't have Vita Vea. He didn't have Chris God. That's the reality of the NFL. You're always missing good players. So, but if you were on an offense or a defense and you heard your best player was out, does it change the Cowboy locker room? Does it change your confidence that your best player on one side of the ball is out this week against a really young, good team?
Not if you think that you are actually the best player. And that's where I feel like getting a guy like Micah Parsons, Trayvon Diggs, these young guys, they feel like I'm that guy. I'm one of the best players, if not the best player. They may not go out and say it publicly, but you better believe that this is how they're carrying themselves. But can they step up to the plate with the little experience that they do have and fill that void? This is where I feel like you brought in Dan Quinn, not just to make DeMarcus Lawrence better, because we know what he is. We know his ceiling is high. He can continue to grow. But we brought Dan Quinn in to allow everybody else to become even better, to complement what DeMarcus Lawrence does. So this is a lot of pressure that I see being put on Dan Quinn and his scheme. And how can he put this defensive personnel, which is really good, in positions to put pressure on the quarterback to where they still create turnovers and they get a lot of pressure even without their best defensive guy. All
right. So finally, I got to admit, the Eagles coach Nick Sirianni was not good at the podium, and I have a bias on guys that are bad at the podium because I talk for a living. So if you're bad at the podium, I don't think you can lead men. And then I watch Philadelphia. I know it's terrible, but I mean, let's we all have our little biases. Like if you're lousy at a mic, like Sean McVay is so good at the microphone, I'm like, that guy can coach, you know. So he was so bad at the mic, and then I watched Philadelphia. I'm like, oh my God, they're totally buttoned up. So how long will I have to see these Eagles before I, the cynic, how many weeks before I'm like, okay, that's not like an aberration. They're well coached. Like you can get lucky. You can have games, you get turnovers. But at what point, if you are a cynic on a team or a player, that you see something over and over and you're finally like, okay, I was wrong on that. Like how many Eagle wins do I have to see? Because I was shocked by how well they played.
Well, I think for me, it's not so much about just the head coach and how he presents himself at the podium. If you can lead men, if you watch the team play and you see how sound they played and how fundamentally locked in they were, that tells me what I need to know as you as a head coach. Then you see, who are we calling our leaders on this team? Who is our alpha? And their alpha played like an extreme alpha, and that's Jalen Hurts, someone who we've questioned but has not wavered. This is what makes a really good team when you are underdogs, but you play like you're not. You believe that you're not, but you don't care what everybody else says. And you don't do everything right. You don't check every box coming off the bus. You don't always look the part. But once you put your uniform on and collectively as a team, when we dress together and we stomp together and we take a step forward together, we look pretty darn good. That's why right now, hearing you, I smile and smirk because I think the Philadelphia Eagles are going to be a very well-rounded team because they're not reliant on one individual. They're truly relying on themselves collectively as a team.
By the way, you just won a big award. You're a very humble guy. You refuse to talk about it. You don't do Instagram. So Joey and I know something right now about you. Would you be mad at me if I mentioned it?
I wouldn't be mad. I do Instagram. I have a hard time celebrating myself with.
Would you be mad at me? Is this uncomfortable?
I wouldn't be mad.
Okay.
I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad.
Okay. Greg just won Mr. Universe. Okay. So I enjoy pudding, so I don't have abs. He has the best abs in the universe. That is unbelievable. So if I won like California's best body, he would walk up and go, I am Mr. Universe.
Yeah.
So he has the best abs in the universe.
If I won Mrs. Universe, is it Mrs. Universe? Miss Universe? I guess it's Miss Universe.
It is.
But not like the pageant. I would be insufferable. You would not want to be around.
I think for me, because of all the work that goes into it, the stage and the title and the competition day, it's just such a small part. It's what everybody comes to know and celebrate you for. But if you don't embrace the process and the journey and get fulfillment out of that, then it's almost like, why are you really doing this? So I praise more of the journey and the process and the dedication of getting there. And once I get there, my expectation is always to win.
I won Employee of the Month, and I literally bragged about it for 4 years. He won Mr. Universe. He won't put it on Instagram. That's what the quality of a human being. He must have had really good parents, too. He must be a nice guy.
Like, you ate grilled chicken and vegetables every day for like a year.
Greg,
Everyone would know about it.
You are a very
Greg.
humble man. We're very proud of you. We just want you to know that you're amazing, and you never talk about it, and it's unbelievable. I'm never going to take my shirt off near Greg Jennings for my entire life. It's a bad look for anybody. Great seeing you, buddy.
Likewise. Take care, guys.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd, or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.